Hi guys, welcome back to some Equals IPL. I've got Rishi and Adi, and we're here to count down the top three IPL moments of all time. Bro, the IPL's been an amazing tournament, and to have to count down three of its best moments is very tough. We've seen some brilliant batting performances, brilliant bowling performances, some all-round team performances, and we've made a short list of things that will probably fall within this list, and we'll discuss those moments. We'll also rank them, and we'll have to unanimously agree on the ranking towards the end of the video. Before we start off and I give my mentions, I'll go to Rishi first. Rishi, name one moment out of these three moments that for you have to be there in the top three.
That has to be Gale's 175, the iconic
Against the
175.
Pune Warriors. Yeah,
That pretty much is the poster or the selling pitch of IPL, to
that
be
game. Yeah,
honest.
and like that Pune Warriors game, it it was so clean. I rewatched it recently, and the hitting was so clean from Gale on that day. And if he just got probably like 6, 7, 8 more balls, he would have probably gotten his 200.
Does it 200.
And
Yeah.
that to reach that status would just be insane. Adi, do you remember the Gale 175? Is it one of those top three moments for you? And where were you when Gale was hitting those sixes?
Dude. I remember because like we were going out and I was literally near the Chinnaswamy Stadium that day. I remember it was a day game, like a 3:30 game.
Yeah, it was.
And I was near Chinnaswamy Stadium and come to my granddad's house. And then, I remember, okay, yeah, there's a RCB game, let me watch. And like generally I watch it at home because summer holidays. But that day I remember I just came late and they were already like in 2 hours, like Gale had already hit. And I just kept watching, he kept belting. And we were supposed to go out. I told my mom, bro, no, I'm just sitting here, I'm watching this innings because he kept belting. I'm like, bro, this is too good to miss. And like my mom went out, they're like, okay, this just left me in my granddad's house. I literally was the entire first innings of like, Gale hitting in my granddad's house. Because I clearly remember this. This was like one moment where like I couldn't even move away from the TV. Because he just kept belting sixes, bro. Like what? He hit like 17 sixes. I don't think like
Yeah,
one team also hit like 17 sixes. It's like he hit more sixes than four that day. I was like every ball
yeah,
he
he
just
did.
kept belting. And dude, that's the thing. He could have also like legit got us 200. He scored like 100 runs in like 30 balls, 33
Yeah,
balls.
and I think AB played like 10 ish balls in the end, and he came on the interview with RCB, and he also said that if I didn't play those 10 balls, Gale
Yeah,
probably would have scored his 200. That's insane.
yeah.
And
I mean,
I was, yeah, like even I was supposed to go down to play. It was a normal summer's day, and we were getting ready to play. But then once Gale started taking off, I think everyone just sat and we're like, okay, let's watch this. Let's ask. Aaron Finch came on to bowl that day and
I
got
was going to say this,
smoked.
1 over 29
Smoked.
runs.
Why would you bowl to Gale when he's batting like that? Aaron
dude,
Finch, man.
did you watch the RSP game yesterday? He was talking about it yesterday, funnily enough.
What
And
did he say?
so Harsha Bhogle asked them like, why did you come bowling? Because they had like Yuvraj Singh and all there. Like he said, you couldn't bowl.
Yeah,
Like why
yeah.
did you? And like Finch went and asked Yuvraj like, can you come and bowl an over? Because even Mitch Marsh was there and they all get belting. Everyone like Gale was belting everybody. So then Finch went and asked Yuvraj like, can you bowl one over to Gale? And Yuvraj just told him like, bro, look who's batting. Batting everyone, I'm not going to ball. And then like Finch had no other options, so he's like, okay, let me ball one over. Because that game, Ashwin missed that game, so they really didn't have any options. And he said, okay, let me take and ball one over, and that over also he batted like some 4, 5, 6s that over.
Yeah, it was a disastrous over, and he just went for it, bro. He smoked everyone. I think Ali Murtaza was playing that game. Ishwar Pandey, Mitch Marsh, everyone got sent in that game, and
If
you
he
know
was
what?
the
But yeah,
only bowler in that whole Pune Warriors lineup who didn't get sent for, six and over, who kept it below six and over.
there was a bowler who kept it less than six. Rahul Sharma
He
played that.
bowled,
Did he?
he bowled 4 overs, by the way.
Did Rahul Sharma play that game? Was it
No,
him?
Rahul Sharma didn't
Bhuvaneshwar
play that game.
Kumar.
Yes, there's Bhuvaneshwar
Oh
Kumar.
yeah, yeah. Bhuvi played.
But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
this
4 overs,
Makes sense.
23 runs.
defending
Like in
everything,
that
bro.
carnage, like that pretty much sums up Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. What a guy, man.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
And
that's
I
like
think this
Dilshan was
is
taking all the strike off and playing
true.
bowling,
True.
and it's
Dilshan
like,
struggled in that
Yeah.
game initially,
yeah, bro,
He
that's
did
so
some
and
30
easy.
or
Some
50
30
something.
runs of 35 balls or something.
also is this your top moment, Adi? Like, is this number one for you? For me, it's
Yeah, it
hands
has to
down
be.
number one. I think there's nothing else greater than that. Rishi,
Only
is this
thing
number one for
that
you as
can
well?
ever trump
Yeah,
that is,
definitely.
only
Huh.
thing that can trump that is an RCB IPL win. That's never going to happen. So I think that's the only trophy I'll ever get in my life, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it was a spectacle. At number two, I've gone for Mumbai's brilliant batting performance against Rajasthan Royals. I'm a huge Dravid fan, and to see RR concede 195 or so in 14 overs and Dravid chucking his cap at the end of the game was probably one of the saddest moments I've seen in the IPL. But again, you have to give Mumbai the credit for getting the job done. Corey Anderson played an amazing knock that game. Aditya Tare finished it off. James Faulkner, my God, I don't know what was going on in that game and what the plans were, but it was a full toss dish towards the leg side. It was like solid knee height, and yeah, it was not good at all. Rishi, you're the Mumbai fan. Is this one of your top three as well?
Yeah, this is my second. This is my second biggest IPL moment.
And yeah, yeah,
And
and also just to add, like it was a spot up for grabs in the top four. This that
yeah,
game
yeah, yeah.
depended on, yeah, a lot depended on
We
that
had
game.
to win the game in 14 overs for us to qualify for the
Qualify
playoff.
and knock RR out.
Did
So
we?
Yeah,
it was a huge game for both teams.
yeah. And to be honest, the moment they hit 189 and the equation came out, like you have to hit 190, like whatever 190, 195 from like 14 overs, the game was done. Like I don't think anyone believed. Like it was beyond logic at that point to think that 195 of 14 overs. But then Corey Anderson started going. We're like, okay, maybe. I mean, we still didn't want to believe it. But then after a
Yeah,
point, he's just hitting, and then who was it? I think I don't remember. We lost wickets quickly. I think Pollard and Rohit Sharma fell.
Pollard law went off, yeah, pretty quickly. Yeah,
And then it was Ambati Raidu. He came and hit like some 13, like some 9 or 10 balls. He brought the game back in the equation, and then of course, like yeah, and then who was it? I think Aditya Tare finished it off, right?
Tari finished it off. Yeah, yeah.
Raidu got
James
one
Faulkner
down,
was the
and then
bowler.
yeah,
Yeah,
Raidu got
Dude,
one,
that's
and then Tare. It was just
it was
it took
insane.
us a while to like let it sit down and settle in into
Yeah,
just what has happened.
one of the most insane games I've seen, like of cricket in general. That almost
Mhm.
unbelievable. Yeah, Adi, you
Yeah,
were saying.
definitely.
No, that's the thing. Like I remember Ryder got run out in the so-called second last ball where they needed, that
Yeah,
cutoff.
Yeah,
Then Aditya Tare came and then it was literally 6 of 1. Basically, they needed 6 of 1 ball, even though
they
they
need a
had like
six. They
six.
need a six. Yeah,
They were like, it was if they didn't get that 6, they would basically lost. And like he actually came and just hit it, behind. Like it was a full toss, right? And then he just hit it.
yeah.
I'm like, it was
Hit
actually
it with
kind of
swerve.
so
like,
Swerve,
again,
yeah.
guy, to put things into perspective, if Mumbai got another six overs, they could have scored 260, 270. It was that kind of a day. It was insane. Like, probably could have
yeah.
seen the highest IPL score ever if Mumbai were batting like that and they were playing the first innings.
Honestly.
But
So,
to be
The thing is,
honest,
they
Rahul,
lost a
like,
lot of wickets, and it was only like
and
true,
Corey
true,
Anderson back. I
true.
don't think they would
and
have
they
hit the
hit it
highest score.
like they went straight into the fifth gear, thinking they have to like
Yeah,
reach the
true,
total.
true, true. That's true.
You have to
Circumstance
reach the total to
dictated.
start
Yeah,
making things like pace accordingly. So you can't really say that
true.
like projected score will actually be the what it actually comes out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Is that number two for both of you? Because I think that's number two for me. I think it was incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a very
It's
close to number one as well. Like, very, very good
no,
performance.
no, no.
Dude,
For me,
the thing
like
is, like,
number one
they'll
is
have a
the
lot of
iconic.
runs. Dude, the only thing why it's number 2 for me is actually, seeing Rahul Dravid lose it in the end of the game. Seeing him full, pissed off and he's throwing his cap down. Actually, yeah, that's pretty satisfying. I think that would come number 2 for me also when I think
What has
about
he
it.
done to you? Why? He's literally the most. And like
No,
I,
I
I, I
can't
love I
literally
love it
like
when, and he's such a nice guy. He literally, like, He had his interview with Gaurav Kapoor in that show, and then he says, as I was throwing the cap, I just wish it was going to come back into my hand, and I didn't feel good at all. So I think just shows the kind of guy he is, and one of the best in the business, as we know. Um,
So,
yeah,
that drop catch in the finals, I can't help it, bro.
yeah, I think everybody has their final moment, and unfortunately for him, he had that bad moment. But
Order little
again,
miss, huh?
he's just given so much to Indian cricket, and what a legend. Um, let's move on quickly to the third best moment. I have to say Brendan McCullum's 158 in the first ever game, simply because we didn't know anything about the IPL. All we had gotten until then was the 2007 World Cup, and in the 2007 World Cup, we hadn't seen an innings like that. I think Gale got 100, if I'm not wrong, in the tournament, but we hadn't seen an innings where one batsman went on to score 158 runs. That was something that was unheard of. And when being an RCB fan, first game, you're hoping your hopes up to see McCullum going like that, and there was no stopping him. And I was like, you know what? Okay, if this is how it's going to go, RCB is going to do the same thing. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. We got skittled. I remember, I was like, man, we got some players. Cameron White will probably score some runs. We'll get some runs from Carlis, but nah, it was insane. What's the third pick for you guys? Rishi, I'll start with you.
Mine, to be honest, I didn't want to go all three with in terms of batsman's game.
Batting performances, yeah.
Yeah, I want to mention one for like the bowler, and that has to be for me the Sohail Tanvir 6 for 14 versus CSK.
Okay.
And the CSK had really good batting lineup, to be honest. And for a relatively, he's not like a mainstream bowler. Like he's like one of the few bowlers from Pakistan who played, and he actually has a purple cap as well. For him to
Yeah.
drop that type of massive performance, 6 for 14 is in 4 overs is like unreal numbers. And to be honest, I think so far in the history of IPL, ever since then, I think it's been broken. That record has been bettered only by Alzari Joseph, and this
Hmm.
happened in 2008, I guess. So that shows the kind of performance that he dropped against CSK. So I think for me it has to
I,
be Sohail Tanvir.
I acknowledge like Sohail Tanvir's performance, but if we are looking at a bowling performance, I honestly can't look past Kumble's 5 for 5.
Kumble
Just
Pfeiffer. I mean, that,
incredible. Yeah, incredible. And he was again unplayable and conceding 5 runs and picking up 5 wickets is, dude. I don't know. I don't think it gets better than that. I understand that Sohail Tanvir has picked up another wicket, which is why he goes down. The wickets column adds on, and you obviously take top spot. But Kumble's 5 for 5 is probably one of my favorite bowling performances that I remember. I don't remember the the Sohail Tanvir game, so I can't go with that pick. Adi, what about you? Like, who are you going for as? What are you going for as third pick?
Dude, I honestly, there are a lot of, I see there are a lot of moments, IPL. When it comes to third pick, I just don't have that one moment where, I can put it like when I think about it, there's been a lot of run chases where, for like example, ABD chasing down,
Mm,
Stain,
yeah,
Tavatia, that chasing out. I mean, when he chased on 200 against Kings 11, I feel like that has to come to me because when I think about it, I don't really think, because I never saw the 158 of McCullum. I just feel like,
right.
especially having this 175 there, especially that being an immense performance. I mean, you can also say, Yusuf Pathan scoring century of only 35 balls. That can also come in a top
Mm,
three moment. I really don't know like when can put one to it. But I feel like funnily enough, even if you want to take it as bias, I feel like it has to be Rinku's sink 5 6s
Sings
in the
five
last
sixes.
over. The only reason is I literally came watching the last 3 overs of the game, and when I saw the target required, I just felt like, bro, they're not going to win. And what they needed literally 29 runs in the last over, right?
28 or 29. Yeah.
Yeah, 28 and 29. And then I saw Umesh Yadav batting the first ball. I literally just thought, bro, they're not going to win it. They can't win it. And then like Rinku Singh out of nowhere, like literally Rinku Singh coming and finishing off that game. I actually
Yeah.
feel like for me, that can be like a top three moment because apart from that, I don't have that because that moment was like actually pretty funny to me because I didn't expect them to, I didn't expect Rinku Singh to come and hit 5 sixes there. And I just didn't. He
Yeah,
was
I
like
didn't
looking
either.
like for me. And to be fair, when I've seen IPL over the past 10, 15 years, I never had that like, what the hell just happened moment until it was that. Funnily enough, even Gale hitting 175, as weirdly, it's not even that surprising because, he can actually belt those. But actually, Rinku Singh coming and hitting 5 sixes in the last over and chasing it down is actually pretty unbelievable because I literally sat there saying, what the hell just happened? I didn't even know what happened. For me, weirdly, I
Uh,
think I,
you got Rinku
yeah,
Singh there. And
yeah, I just think
like you
I,
just mentioned, you mentioned things like that you don't expect, and if you talk about that narrative and you go down memory lane and you think about things that you didn't expect from people, Rohit Sharma's hat trick, I think nobody would have expected in their wildest dreams. He got JP Dumini in those three. Let's remember that as well. Um, and even for example, Adam Gilchrist picking up a wicket of his first ever ball, his only ball
His
ever,
only ball, yeah.
and he got Harbhajan Singh again, not someone who is amazing with the bat, but he's decent. He was pretty decent, and for a wicket keeper to come and bowl a ball and get a wicket off his first ball is quite remarkable. So I think there are lots of honorable mentions, but we have to settle on one moment. Um, I don't know how we're going to settle this, but
We have three different opinions. How are we going to settle this?
okay, Adi, you're saying Rinku Singh for sure.
yeah, I mean, I don't like try to bro sell me off. Like, why do you think McCullum's 158 is better than Rinku Singh hitting
Okay,
five
so
sixes out?
I will tell you why McCullum's 158. So this is the first game of the IPL. Like I mentioned, we had only had the 2007 World Cup before that, and nobody had imagined any person could bat like that. And like up after that 158, KKR did not have 100 until now when
I
Venkatesh Iyer
yeah.
scored 100 this season. That shows you the magnitude of the moment. And it's not like RCB had a bad bowling lineup. We had Anil Kumble, we had Praveen Kumar, we had Jack Carlis that day, and it was not a bad bowling lineup at all. But he took it to all parts. And talking about batting performances at Chinnaswamy, I think that is very close to Gale's 175, especially given the fact that it was the first ever game in the IPL. It set a precedent. We thought people would do it, people would replicate performances like that, but we haven't seen it. Apart from that Gale 175, we haven't seen an innings like that from an opener.
But do you think that can come as a bro? That's not like a. Hmm. But I feel like again, dude, McCullum hitting 158 is weirdly not that surprising. And I feel like only for me it doesn't come in my top three moments because I never got to see that game. Because
I
especially the
understand.
first
I
season of
understand.
IPL, I saw it, and then like, dude, I actually do you guys remember like Pollard dropping Asi 3 times in a row?
Three times, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
there's not like a
At that point, I thought it was some black magic or something because there's no way Kyron Pollard out of everyone is dropping three in a row. That was
bro.
madness.
That's again like a thing where like it's pretty unbelievable because like why did
yeah.
him dropping 3 catches in a row? It's the same batsman is like funny. I remember even Hasi was like, "What the hell is happening?"
But Rahul,
I
Do
wouldn't
you guys
mind.
like think?
I wouldn't mind that.
you mentioned that it was the first game, so I can
Yeah.
like we can also spin it off in such a way that there was like the fact that there was no precedent gave him a lot more freedom. It's like
No,
there's
that there
nothing.
was precedent. My point is there was. We had played the T20 World Cup. We had seen scores. We had understood that, okay, a
franchise
150,
cricket
60.
franchise cricket is an entirely different bat and ball game
I know
compared
that.
to
I understand that. I understand that. But again, we've seen it was not like T20 cricket was unheard of. Like we had seen the tournament, we had seen the same players play, and we had seen
but
McCullum himself play in the 2007 World Cup.
something like IPL was definitely unprecedented. You know the glamour, the fashion, the
True, true. But from a cricketing point of view, it's the same bowlers. It's the same internationals. You took on Kalis. You've played Praveen Kumar. You've played, say, an Anil Kumble in the past. Yeah. So from that point of view, and again, for me, like I don't remember Sohail Tanvi 6 for 14, but I remember Kumble's 5 for 5. And for me, go for a bowling performance, I've never seen anything like it. That Kumble 5 for 5 was just amazing.
Hmm. Fair enough.
So, any of you, are you guys willing to sway this way or that way?
I mean, no, I don't want to go all three for batsmen. I want to give one for like. I mean,
Fair
like
enough.
we can probably say that Anil Kumble's 5 for 5 gives a better deserves a better shout than Sohail Tanvir's. But yeah, I'd want to give one for the bowlers.
Adi, what about you? Are you going to sway to another side, to either side?
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like I haven't seen both of them, so I can't really put. And I feel like Sohail Tanvir, what he got 6 for 14, right?
Six
I
for
feel like
14, yeah.
I've seen like better bowling performance over time. Like, Malinga 5 for
Yeah,
13. If Kumble 5 for 5, bro, especially when they're,
Mhm.
defending a target of only 140, I remember. That was the
yeah,
opening game on
130 odd. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's when you talk about bowling performance, I feel like those can, also be given there. I feel like, especially Kumble's 5 for 5, I remember that day. I thought we would lose that game because 113 T20 is
yeah,
pretty easy. Literally knock her on the
yeah.
ball
First
and
game of the season. RCB
exactly
finishing,
champion
I think, second last or
second
something the
last,
season before.
second
Yeah,
last. And against the defending champions. I didn't expect
yeah.
them to get all out for 58 that day. So I feel like that itself is like such a huge that game itself we can take it as like a top moment for an RCB fan especially. So I just feel like I can't take Sohail Tanvir's, this thing. And again, dude, when it comes to batting performance, I feel like they've seen a lot of good batting performance over the years. Like Yusuf Pathan 100 or 36 balls, I feel like that's higher in this thing than like for me at least than a McCullum
McCullum's and
158.
one because you are right.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
if I had to choose one, I feel like again I'll have to go for McCullum's 158 because
Okay.
it's just because of the first game of literally IPL. It's literally something new. It's something we've all seen for the first time. And imagine going and turning on to something new like an IPL, and then you just see this random dude called Brendan McCullum hitting 158 and 70 balls. And
Yeah.
when I haven't seen both of it, but like if I just came to see one thing, however sad it is, even though bowlers getting 6 wickets in the T20s, like literally you never see it. But you still, if Rishi, if you want to choose one thing, would you want to see a Brendan McCullum 158 or a Sohail Tanvir 6 for 14? It's
I
as
mean, yeah,
simple as
I
that. I
think
would
definitely.
that's a
want to
good way of putting. That's a good way of putting it. I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I would
yeah,
want to
yeah,
just sit and see a 158 innings. Like, however
yeah,
sad it is,
definitely.
this is reality.
It's
So I
it's
think
That's
definitely
if I
true.
more
had to,
like yeah, yeah, appealing to
yes, if I had
watch
to
like a
pick between
batsman
these,
going on.
yeah, exactly. So if I had to pick between these two, I would also choose like the McCullum 158. But I just feel like there's too many moments in IPL, dude. Like even we
There
can
is, there
take
is,
like
there is a lot.
I feel like even we should give like shout out to the unbelievable catches we've seen because like A.B. de Villiers catch
True, true, true. De
against
Villiers,
I
Chris Lynn.
forgot dude. Chrislin's catch against de Villiers itself. That was
Yeah,
like a mental
yeah.
catch, dude. He just fell down and just stood up and again caught it. I was like, this
I
is the
think we've seen
craziest
some
catch.
brilliant catches.
Like,
Pollard on
you
the
guys,
boundary has seen some
you guys
beauties.
think the the Rajasthan is the scandal match? I mean, it's definitely a big, huge moment in terms of IPL.
The
Like a it's
Ajit
not for the
Chandila
watchers.
one, yeah,
Yeah,
The
yeah,
no
but
ball.
like
yeah, yeah.
regardless, it's a it's a
Srishant Chandila.
IPL.
Yeah,
So maybe
no, I understand that, but it was a huge moment for the IPL. You're right.
But
But
that's the
it's
thing.
for
Like, do you
the wrong
guys?
it's not.
reasons.
Yeah, it's for the wrong reasons. It's not a
Yeah,
cricketing achievement. But then again, like we're talking just IPL moments, right? Like that
But
was
we talk
also
about
a
cricketing
huge.
moments, right?
I
I
but
feel like this is more of
yeah,
Fair
like
enough.
a
yeah,
scandal. So I don't
yeah.
think we
It's
can take
just
it.
yeah. Let's
That's the
let's
thing. Like,
purely stick. I think it was a huge moment though.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
let's
but like,
purely stick to the cricketing side of it though. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, do you
So,
guys think there are other moments which could actually trump your 158 and your 6 for 14?
bro, I think Rohit Sharma's hat trick is as like trippy as it sounds, is one of the most incredible moments for a batsman to get a hat trick. Um,
But I feel
he,
like Amit Mishra's
it's.
hat trick still better, bro.
Or I
I
mean,
think Amit Mishra deserves a shout out for his many hat tricks.
Yeah.
What a
yeah,
bowler he's been over the years. So again, like he deserves a shout. I
That's
think
what three hat tricks, right?
yeah, three. I
Two hat
think I'm not sure.
two.
two
Yeah,
hat tricks, dude.
and
Rahul, which do
yeah,
you
I
think is
think
rarer for a batsman to pick a hat trick or a wicket keeper to come bowl one ball and get one wicket out of that?
I
I
think
for one
wicket keeper,
give
wicket keeper,
yeah, give
the
Chris
Gilchrist
Pujaram the
moment.
one. wicket with his only ball is.
I think
I mean,
it's very, very, very.
call it fluke, whatever it is, but it happened. You can't just write that
You,
out.
I wouldn't mind putting that at 3 because I think it was a very wholesome moment for everybody. Gilchrist getting his send off that way,
Yeah.
everybody was very happy for him. I honestly would not mind putting that at 3 because at the end of the day, I was watching that game and I felt happy for him. I was like, it's the end of an era for somebody who deserves, like
Who's given so much to
a
Punjab.
joyous end. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I wouldn't mind putting the Gilchrist moment at 3 as well. Do you guys mind putting the Gilchrist moment at 3?
No, no, no. Of course not.
I mean,
Adi?
yeah, I mean, when you put it off like that, yeah, I mean, it's true because I mean, Gilchrist, especially one of my favorite wicket keepers, getting a wicket,
Yeah, same.
swing on first ball, basically last ball, also.
First and last
Yeah,
ball, yeah.
yeah, it's literally one
So,
ball he's ball and got a wicket.
yeah,
So I guess in that sense, it's like also it's like a good moment, setting off a legend of the game from IPL
exactly,
legend itself.
exactly. So I think we've narrowed it down, guys. At number 3, we've got Adam Gilchrist getting Harbhajan Singh for Kings 11 Punjab off his solitary ball in the IPL. We've got the Mumbai chase against RR at number 2, which they finished in 14 odd overs. Incredible performance. And of course, at number 1, we've got Chris Gale's insane 175 at Chinnaswamy. But that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. This was the top 3 IPL moments of all time.